Hello and welcome to Segments with Mark and Amber. Segments is a comedy podcast wherein each episode Amber and I choose a topic and we talk about it in a variety of segments. My name is Mark, and with me as always is the Jamocha Shake to my curly fries, Amber.
Hello, I like that one. Jamocha Shake is amazing. Am I.
You are very amazing. The problem with the curly fries is there's a bit of a season spice to them.
That's the whole thing of them.
Yeah.
That's what differentiates them. The curliness and the seasoning. You don't like it?
No, I don't love it. I don't crave it. So, anyway.
We're talking Arby's right there, people. This is episode 30, and we're talking all about restaurants.
Yeah, it's going to be super fun. The format of the show, we're going to talk about what's making me happy, what makes a great restaurant. We're going to talk a little bit about our top 5 restaurants, and then we are going to continue on with a listener favorite segment called Superfight, including some listener feedback from last episode's Superfight.
Awesome. So if you want to contact us or leave feedback, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at SegmentsCast, and you can email us at segmentscast@gmail.com.
Yeah. So, Amber, we are back. We're in the throes of a new school year.
Yes.
Things are happening, but we are still committed to getting this episode out near the 30th.
Near the 30th.
We're currently recording on the 30th.
Hey, that's close.
And it will definitely be released within 24 to 28 hours
Ooh.
from now.
That's a tight window.
That's a tight window. But that's my plan. But I'm excited to be podcasting with you. It gives me a chance to step away from some of the other stuff I got going on and just have a good time with you.
Yeah, I'm excited about that too.
Yeah.
So, what's making you happy right now?
What's making me happy? Well, since we recorded last, we were talking about our favorite survivors.
Yes.
And one of my favorite survivors, I don't know where he ended up on the list, I can't remember, was Robinson Crusoe.
Right.
And as I was thinking about it, I was like, man, it has been a long time since I've read that book. And I had an Audible credit just sitting there in my Audible account. So I downloaded a book, a Robinson Crusoe narration. And
Nice.
I had one on my phone already, but it was a free version.
Oh.
And it was bad.
I didn't know there's differences.
There is a ton. The reader, I don't know, what would you call that person? The narrator, the voice actor, the person who's reading it makes a huge difference.
I guess I can understand that. I'm just surprised that book, you'd think they would just find a good reader and record it once because it's a classic. I'm surprised there's multiple recorded versions out there.
So this one was recorded, I don't know why I remember this, in 2008. So it's been out for about 10 years now. And the reader is great. He's got a great English accent, which would be apropos of Robinson Crusoe.
Oh, of course.
And so that's great. But remember when we were driving around, a couple weeks ago, and I turned on the New Moon.
Yes.
And you're like, I do not like this reader.
Right.
And I was like, I like her. She does a good job.
Yeah, that definitely makes a difference. I remember reading some kind of an action-adventure book a while back. Now I can't remember the title of it. But the reader had this like weird baby voice. And she was reading about, and then the blood, he stabbed him, and the blood ran on the ground. It's like, oh my gosh, I cannot stand this. I turned it off and immediately rented the book from the library.
Yeah, Audible has this great thing where you can download the book with your credit, but if you don't like it within some amount of time, you can, quote unquote, return it, and they will give you your credit back.
Oh, okay.
And I think a lot of it has to do with maybe the book's not exactly what you thought it was, content-wise, or it's like, I cannot listen to this person read this book.
That does make a big difference. I'm surprised that it gets past that. Like, do they push it to a focus group? Be like, does this sound good? Is somebody going to want to listen to it?
Yeah.
Or do other people just not care? Maybe some people like the same voices that we don't.
And a lot of the reviews in Audible talk about the actor, the voice person.
Oh, okay. Is that more or less relevant than the steaminess meter?
I find that they're both really, really important.
Okay.
So, Amber, I am Googling something as I want to do. I can't find his name. So I'm into Clive Cussler and the Pneumofiles.
Sure.
The guy who reads those is literally the best.
Oh, cool.
I can't
That's
get his
great.
name. I'll try to get that out, next episode. So people, because like some people, like they really like this guy. They're just looking for stuff that he has read, and they'll
Wow.
listen to that.
That's pretty cool. That's
So-
how you know you're a good voice actor or whatever, if
Yeah.
people are just looking to hear your voice.
Yeah. So all that to say, I downloaded Robinson Crusoe. Just finished it today, actually.
Oh, okay.
And it was just great. And
So the last time you read it on paper, this is the first time
this is
listening
the first
to
time
it.
I've listened to it, and it's very interesting. And so basically, I know the story. I know he ends up on an island. I forgot that he was on that island for 28 years.
Oh, my goodness.
And-
Wow.
And he ends up getting off. But it's what's really great are the revelations that he gets as he spends all this time on the island, and he ultimately rediscovers his faith and realized that he had strayed far, and it was the providence of God that had protected him and brought him to this island. And there's this one section at the end of, I think it's the 6th or 7th chapter, where he is making a pros and cons list about being on the island, and he obviously he misses his family, and he doesn't have some of the necessities that he'd like. He really wanted a tobacco pipe, and he didn't have one, and some of these other things. But then he would start talking about, I've got, the shipwreck landed close enough that I was able to get all the stuff off of it for my goods, and then that there was a bag of old corn that I dumped out on the ground, and there was barley seed in it, and so that
Oh my goodness.
created. And so he's just like going and just realizing the provision of God even in this desolate place. That it was the goodness of God that brought him here to remind him of the providence and the care of this great God. And
Wow,
even when
'cause he was a bit of a spoiled jerk.
he was a spoiled jerk. He just cared about himself, and it was it was a great book. I loved it, and I encourage everybody to go out there and read Robinson Crusoe.
All right. What's going to be next on your Audible list?
Well, I was looking through that today. I was actually thinking about continuing on the classics and going with A Tale of Two Cities,
Oh.
which would be fun, or completing the Twilight trilogy. So those are kind of the two at the top of my list right now.
Yeah, it's weird watching that back with you, and I'm so much older than I was the first time I watched it, but it is, and having teenage daughters of my own, the Twilight series, I do, it holds a special place in my heart, but I'm just like, wow, Bella's a terrible role model for teenagers.
so
She's
bad.
way too
So
obsessed with
bad.
this dangerous guy that she hardly knows. That's scary as a parent. And some of it comes across cheesier to me now than it did.
Well, the movie for
The
sure.
movie's for sure cheesy, yes.
So maybe I'll finish that and we can talk about the entire trilogy. I'm really hoping that book 3 really redeems Bella and Edward.
Would it make you excited or disappointed to hear that it's a 4-part, not
Seriously?
3?
Oh my gosh.
It's not a trilogy. And then I think there's actually 5 movies.
Oh my gosh. Well then. Well, what's making you happy, Amber?
Well, my last Big Brother update of the end of the summer, the season finished, and Tyler did not win. He did make it to Final 2, which was great, but he went with Casey, and Casey ended up winning. I think she had more favor on the jury, who are former house guests who cast the final vote. I think Tyler played the better game, but part of the game is making sure that the people in the jury like you enough to vote for you, so I guess that's how it works. He did get America's Favorite Player and second place, so he made $75,000.
That's pretty good.
And I think he's pretty popular now on Instagram. He can probably monetize his whatever. So
Yeah. His pecs.
his pecs, yeah. He's a lifeguard. But what's making me happy now is also television related. Hey, new fall TV is out. I'm excited about that. Returning shows are coming back that I like, and there's new shows that I'm testing, and I want to recommend a new one. It just started last week, so there's only been 1 episode so far. It's called Manifest, and it's on NBC Mondays at 10 p.m.
Oh,
if
late
anybody
one.
wants to check it out. So I will do a little bit of spoiling for the first episode, but hey, you would watch it and find it all out in the first episode, and maybe it will intrigue you to check it out. I'm super intrigued. It reminds me of when I first watched Lost. It was so exciting.
That's like saying, yeah, Han Solo dies in
Spoiler alert.
in The Force Awakens, but you would have figured that out by watching it anyway.
Oh, no, not the whole movie. If I spoiled like the entire season, The
Okay.
first episode.
Okay.
So just in the first 10 minutes of the first episode. How about that?
Okay, there you go.
There is a family. They're in Fiji on vacation. They're getting ready to board their plane. Oh, it's overbooked. We need some people to stay back. We'll give you a $400 voucher. If you take the next flight, it's only 4 hours different. So there's a dad and one of his twins, and then his sister stay back. And his wife, the other twin, and the grandparents all fly on the original flight. So they get on their flight 4 hours later, flying back to the U.S., and there's a bunch of turbulence. The power goes out for a minute, and then everything resumes. It seems fine. The pilot calls in to land the plane, and the air traffic control tower is like, wait a minute, what flight number is this? And he's like, 828. And he's like, who is this speaking? It's like, Captain so-and-so. He's like, how many people do you have on board? And he's 191 or whatever. Well, they divert him to a different airline. They land they have to, what do you call that? Get off the plane on the tarmac, not going into the station. It's surrounded by police cars and ambulances. And a policeman walks up and they're like, what is going on? They say, you left Fiji in like April of 2013. Today it's November 5th, 2018. Like you've been presumed dead and missing for 5 years. So they just flew home from Fiji. For them, it was 2-hour flight or a 5-hour flight or whatever it was. So
that sounds
very
interesting.
exciting. And then the twins, so they reunite with their family, and one twin is still 8 years old, and the other one's 13. Like she's way taller, and obviously she's grown. The one on the plane has not. Nobody on the ground believes that the passengers didn't go someplace secret or whatever. They think there's a conspiracy because how could they have just disappeared? But then there's anyway, more mysteries come later in the episode, but I will not spoil those.
Very exciting.
I'm excited to see where this mystery goes. I'm really hoping they can make it last long enough to get some resolution. I don't like it when you get into these cool shows like Fast Forward. Anybody remember Fast Forward? And then it doesn't get enough viewers and they just stop making it and you never know where they were planning to go.
Yeah, well, hopefully that sounds very intriguing. Maybe I'll have to check that one out.
Got a little out of breath talking about that.
Yeah, you're very
one.
excited.
Whew.
So I'm just excited that The Good Place season 3 is starting.
Yeah, we've got one on the DVR.
Ooh, man.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Segment 1. Restaurant talk?
I did the what do you call this?
This is the rundown. We call
I
it
did
the
the
rundown.
rundown this time, and I threw this on here. I figured before we get into talking about our favorite restaurants and or meals, we should talk about what makes a good restaurant experience. What are we looking for? Why would these restaurants be our favorites? Or what is it we don't like about a restaurant?
I think that's great. So what is it, Amber, that you look for in a restaurant?
Well, I'm just going to come right out and say it. I'm very comfortable with a chain.
Mm-hmm.
A chain restaurant. I'm not too highfalutin for that. I appreciate that a chain restaurant is well organized. Their staff has been trained with consistency. Their menu has been tested in test kitchens. I just think they know what they're doing. There's a reason that there's so many of them. There's a reason why they're successful, and I enjoy the fruits of their labor.
Yeah, I agree. You're not saying that all independent restaurants are not good.
No, but I do
You're
think
just
there's
saying
some
that-
people who disdain a chain restaurant, would not go to such a thing because it's not cool enough. So
They
I'm just
maybe
putting
turn
it
up their
out there
nose.
that I like them.
Yeah.
Yes. I think 2 of the ones on my top 5 are local chains, not really national.
So that's good.
It's a little bit better.
It's a little bit better. Yeah. So what is it about the chain restaurants that draws you? And you said the test kitchen and the food.
Yeah.
The staff.
Yeah, I think the menu is very important to me. I want to see a lot of variety, but I need it to be easily read. The menu.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Chili's. Your menu is like 32 pages long. You've got entrees in many different parts of the menu because some of them are part of the crispy chicken page and some of them are part of the steak page and some of them are part of the burger page. Like I want to see appetizers. I want to see salads. I want to see entrees. I need it to be a little bit more organized.
So the menu is very important.
Yeah, I
for-
don't
for
mind a
Amber.
big menu. I like a lot of options.
Yeah. Okay, what do you feel? How you feel about the atmosphere? I want there's a variety of reasons that you go to a restaurant.
True.
There could be last Sunday it was like, hey, we're just taking the family. We're just gonna go out for a quick bite. We hit up Chili's. Surprisingly, everybody was a little bit disappointed by their
That
food.
was kind of a bummer.
It was a bummer at Chili's that time, but
Yeah.
normally it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And we got, and so that was one reason to go. And I wanted
Hang
to
out
sit
with the
down,
family.
hang
Yeah.
out with the family. But sometimes it's maybe just you and me. We're going out. Maybe it's our anniversary.
Yeah.
And so when I think of a nice restaurant, I'm not going to go to Chili's probably, but
Probably not.
maybe that. What is that place over on West Main Hill? The Middle Eastern place.
Oh, yeah, I like that place. Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I can't remember. Is it Rona?
Zerona.
Zerona. And I love the atmosphere. It's just like
That
this
is really
cool
cool.
place to be.
Yeah.
And the people are nice and they have great everything I've ever tried there. That's one of those few restaurants that I've tried numerous things. Now I kind of just do the chicken biryani. That's what I do every time that I go there now. But I've tried a lot of things. It's all really, really good.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but I love the atmosphere.
You're right. That atmosphere, it's special. They have like special wall dividers and fancy lighting and scarves and things. I don't know. It has a Middle Eastern look, but
Yeah.
it's fancy and special.
And the Union, where my brother John is the executive chef, is cool because they've almost always have live music going on there, live jazz music, and that really, for me, do you remember when we went out for our anniversary this last summer? We went to that little place out in Texas Corners,
Oh, yeah.
and I think it was just called the Texas Corners Brewery.
Oh, I think so too.
And we sat there, and there was a band playing outside, and I was just like, yeah, that's so great. Let's go sit
Yeah.
outside. And they were okay.
Yeah.
But there's something about live music that makes me go, oh, this is fun.
I really like the idea of it. I don't like it when it's too loud.
Yeah, it should be
So-
in the right volume.
And that's a restaurant thing in general. I think there's this is all going to be very local, but I'm pretty sure most of our listeners are local. There's a restaurant called Latitude 42 in Portage, and it's kind of got big ceilings. It feels like a lot of metal. Anyway, it's just very loud and echoey. Kind of have to shout across the table. Gonzo's Big Dog Brewery is also like that.
Yeah.
Gonzo's also has like these long community tables where you're supposed to sit with people you don't know. Not a fan. Not a fan of that. Gonzo's did have the best hamburger I've ever had in my life that I literally craved and went there multiple times just for that, and they took it off the menu, even though I didn't like the atmosphere.
Yeah.
But I don't, too much noise. I don't like eating inside of Jimmy John's because they
Oh.
always say, "Welcome to Jimmy John's," really loud when people walk in, and their music is really loud.
Wow.
And that's too jarring for me.
Wow. Interesting.
But I do love a Jimmy John's sub. Just prefer that drive-through.
Wow, that's interesting. I did not know that. I'll remember that the next time I
yeah.
recommend that.
Yeah, you want your restaurant to be clean. You don't like it when you sit down at the table and your hands kind of stick to the table and you don't feel like it's been recently cleaned. Maybe the menus are a little wet, just got wiped down.
When I was in Japan with Cameron and Dennis and Kaku, we went to this little place in Dennis's hometown. I can't remember what his hometown is called, but it was literally a shack.
Oh, no.
Like not like a nice shack, like an old shack,
Yeah.
and it was just like this family kind of hanging out there and just cooking food, and I didn't know what the food was,
Right.
and it was just like a folding table with like a variety of weird kind of dirty chairs, and the food was actually pretty good, but
Yeah.
man, and there's a guy like smoking in there,
Yeah.
and like it was just so not what. It was not a chain.
No.
And I was just, it was a little bit uncomfortable. It ended up being good, but that was a little bit difficult for me to
Yeah.
kind of find my comfort. I was with Dennis and Pastor Cameron, who'd been there before, and they knew what to order, and they said, that's actually pig's intestines. Don't eat that, or whatever it was.
Good to know.
And,
Yeah.
whatever. And
But why did they ever go there in the first place?
that's the question. Well, I think Dennis, who lives there, knows these people.
That would make
and
sense.
So
Okay.
he went there because of that. But like, there's a parking lot, kind of a shady parking lot, and they could probably, if it was full, they could probably sit, I don't know, 30 or 40 people.
Really?
And
Wow.
so people must go,
Yeah.
and it's just this local flavor, and so looking back, I'm glad that I went.
Yeah.
But it would be difficult if I was just traveling through that town.
Yeah.
To stop there and go, well, I'll try eating this.
Yeah. I
So.
think it's definitely part of my U.S. sensibilities of comfort. My I think it'll be interesting. When we go to Israel in January. That'll be my first time really being outside the country, other than Canada and Mexico, to see what it's like. I'm gonna do what everybody else does there, and not.
Well, bad news. They say we're going to real nice restaurants there.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
But if you come with us to Mexico, we also go to nice places, but it's a little bit more like, here's a guy who has a stand on the side of the road, and it's still real good, but that'll be fun. So, yeah, that's great. So, Amber, let's jump into, we're going to talk about not our top 5 restaurants necessarily, but our top 5 meals that we, and so this is like our top 5 common meals. This isn't like it's our anniversary date meal. This is like normal life. Yeah. This is what we're going to eat.
This is, if I was going to pick from the restaurants we have in our nearby town area, what do I know for sure? If I go to this place and I order this meal, I'm going to love it. I love it every time.
Okay, so this is, it's after work, night of the week. Amber, do you want to go get something to eat? That's what this is.
I like it, yes.
Okay, all right. Then we are on the same page.
Okay.
And why don't you go first?
All right, so my number 5 restaurant, based on that criteria, is Olga's. Olga's Kitchen at the mall.
Good. Love Olga's.
I love Olga's.
Is that a national chain?
Yes, it is. Well, I've seen it in other malls. It's at least a Midwest chain. They're building one over on your side, over by the church on Drake. Local talk. Olga's. You go to Olga's, you get the snacker basket. Those are like old pieces of Olga.
Well, I don't think that's true.
Oh yeah, it is. I think they reuse them. It's the same bread. It's the same bread that they make the sandwich out of.
Okay.
That they've seasoned and toasted up. So an Olga sandwich is kind of like a gyro. It's like a big flatbread kind of a thing.
So you're saying that the snackers are yesterday's Olga sandwiches?
That's my guess.
Interesting.
But they treat them up nice. I mean, it's not
treat them up real nice.
They come with a dipping cheese. I looked it up. It's Swiss almond cheese, and they're seasoned. I used to always get the fajita Olga. It was fantastic. It was literally just a fajita, but you'd put this Olga sauce. It's kind of a yogurty sour cream on it. It was wonderful. They stopped making it. So now I get a veggie Olga. It's okay. It's not as good. I love veggie options usually, but it's kind of wet.
Yeah.
And then there's also a Mediterranean spinach salad there that I really like. So the Olga's has several options for me.
I always enjoy going there.
It's different, you know? Mm-hmm. They have curly fries too, but they're not seasoned like an Arby fry.
Yeah, I like their fries. They're good.
That's my number 5, Olga's.
All right, well, my number 5, Amber, is a little place we call Qdoba.
Oh, yeah, nice one.
And I've pretty much only ever gotten one thing at Qdoba.
Have you really only ever gotten one thing?
I one time got those things that you like, the drunken yardbird.
Oh, yeah.
And I hated them. And so I went directly back to the classic 3 cheese nachos.
Yes.
And I get that. It's got the queso, obviously. I get white rice, black, and pinto beans.
Oh, yeah, you do.
And I get the corn salsa.
Ooh.
Then lately, been changing it up. Not only will I get the chicken or the steak, but I've been having them put a little bit of sour cream on it.
Wait a minute.
Just a little bit with the squeeze bottle, not like a big old glop.
All right. Do you get guac?
No.
No, he said.
I don't need that. And it's so good. Then you get the chips on the side, and you dip that into the 3 cheese nachos.
Chips are real good.
They're so good.
So salty.
And I don't need to, but I almost always eat the entire thing in one sitting. And you only need about half of it, really, or a quarter of it, maybe. In reality, I don't know. I don't know what a serving size is, but it's very big, and it's a serving size. It's so good. There you go. That's my number 5, Qdoba 3 cheese nachos.
Those are good
with chips on the side.
All right. Well, my number 4 restaurant is Shawarma King.
Oh,
Shawarma King. That's the one I think is a local chain because there's multiple.
Which Shawarma King?
Well, I'm picturing the one closest to our house, which is at the bottom of Westnedge Hill, because they have a buffet. Mm-hmm. And there's something nice about being able to walk in and get your food right away. Plus, because of the buffet, I was able to try a lot of things and figure out what I actually like there. So I always get the chicken, the yellow rice, falafel, the roasted potatoes and the garlic sauce.
Mhm.
And then they put pitas on your table, and I just make little pita roll-ups with all that good stuff.
That's so
and
good.
I love it so much. They also have a vegetarian appetizer thing there, which I also get when I go to Zerona.
Mm-hmm.
And that has some baba ganoush, some hummus, and some tabbouleh with the falafel. They also have the grape leaves. I'm not a big fan of those, but everything else is just delish.
Oh man, I makes me want to go to Shawarma King
I
right now.
know.
Amber, that's a great one.
Shawarma King is my number 4.
Number 4. All right, my number 4 is not quite as fancy as Shawarma King, Amber. It is a little place. I'm pretty sure it's local. Well, it's definitely here. I don't know if it's national. It's called Culver's.
It's a good one. The
Culver's.
butter burger.
And so the go-to, have I ever gotten anything else at Culver's? I don't think so. I get the butter burger basket and a Oreo concrete mixer, and I often will ask them to put in half the amount of Oreo that they put in a normal person's mixer, because I don't like all that stuff in there. I like a nice vanilla with a hint of Oreo. I don't know what it is about their burgers. They're just super good.
Yeah, when they say butter burger, does that mean that they're just like putting some butter on it when it fries, frying it in butter?
I don't know. I mean,
it works. Whatever they're doing works.
Maybe they grill the buns in butter.
Yeah, I do think they brush the buns with something.
And so I don't know what it is.
It's a thin patty. I like that.
It is a thin patty. That's why you get the double.
I get the single, but I like that it's thin.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I like Culver's. It's probably my favorite. Is it a fast food restaurant? It's got to be a fast food restaurant.
You order at the counter, but then they bring you the food.
Reminds me that I also
slower.
like Sonic.
Oh, I don't like Sonic. I don't like sitting in the car.
Okay. But I like just the feel of it. I just feel happy there. And I don't know how to explain that. I think that it's because there's those couple times that we went there years ago where they had the magician.
Oh my gosh.
And he would do that great magic trick you would put like a foam bunny in your hand, and you would open your hand up and there'd be a million little bunnies. And I just love that. I love magicians, and I just felt like a fun, family friendly place. And it's got ice cream, and I love ice cream.
I think the ice cream makes it happy, but I found the magician creepy. So I was not there for the bunny day. I don't remember that.
Oh, it was so good. You have to ask Molly about it. It was great. There you go.
Wasn't he like dirty?
No, Amber, you weren't. He wasn't dirty at all. He was a fantastic magician.
Okay.
Doing magic for kids. Kids love magic.
All right.
My number 4, Culver's.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
My number 3 restaurant is Red Lobster.
Oh, that's a good one.
I like it. What can I say? I
What
feel
are
like I
those?
have to like sheepishly admit that I like it, because I think people think
Just be you, Amber. Just own it. You
it's
can
really
like Red
good.
Lobster.
It's really good. It's always busy. I'm not the only one.
No.
So you got to go. You got to get the Cheddar Bay biscuits. I would say that's a criteria for a nice restaurant, is when they give you something to eat while your food's coming. Remember Chi-Chi's used to have the best chips and salsa?
I barely remember that, but yeah, I do.
The chips were heated and was unlimited. Yeah.
I do love the Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Yeah.
Those are fantastic. They have a Cheddar Bay biscuit Red Lobster mix at Sam's, or they did, but I never got it. I'd like to give it a try, maybe for some fancy occasion.
Yeah. A fancy occasion when you want to make them yourself at home, yeah. So when I go to Red Lobster, I almost always get the exact same thing. I get the Caesar salad. It's very good Caesar salad. Great dressing. I get the pick 2 option with the popcorn shrimp and the fried shrimp. I get a baked potato with butter and sour cream. It does not disappoint.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
They used to have clams or something.
Yes, I did used to get clams.
Those were the best. I don't know
And
what happened to those.
They had a real nice tartar sauce with little bits of carrot in it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That reminds me, I really like Long John Silver's as well.
Oh my gosh,
they've
yeah.
got some good food there. Also a seafood restaurant that's fancy.
Yep. And fried.
And fried.
That's why I like my seafood is fried. I'm not really a fish person, but I like something fried that you can dip in sauces.
Yeah.
Red Lobster is my number 3.
Okay. Well, my number 3, Amber, is a little place we call Red Robin.
Oh,
Red
both
Robin.
reds. Both of our 3s are reds.
Oh, it's interesting.
Ooh.
And I, of course, do you think it's normal? Does does every person just get the same thing at the restaurants?
That's a really
that they
good
go
question. I would like to hear from our listeners.
Yeah,
Do you always order the same thing?
You always order the same
If
thing?
I went to the same place 2 times in like a week, I probably would try something different just for variety's sake. I don't think that you would, though.
No, definitely would not. So at Red Robin, do you know what I get?
What do you get?
I get the Whiskey River barbecue burger.
Ooh, with the onion straws kind of thing.
Yes,
on
it's
it?
got a bourbon infused Whiskey River barbecue sauce.
Yep.
Because I love the bourbon. That's probably the only place I've ever had bourbon.
Yeah, well, that new candle that my mom gave me it's supposed to be peach vanilla bourbon. It does not smell good. I'm guessing that's the bourbon.
Okay.
She didn't like it either.
Okay. It has yes, like you said, the crispy onion straws, cheddar cheese, lettuce. Please hold the tomato and mayonnaise.
Nice.
Oh, it's great.
It is a good burger.
And that's kind of a fun place.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a place that my parents would have taken me to when I was a kid.
Huh. I wonder what.
I don't know, because it feels very American.
Yeah.
It feels very American in there. And being an American, I'm comfortable there.
Yep.
And I don't know.
Yeah.
And unlimited fries, which I'm fine with their fries. But once you eat that Whiskey River barbecue burger and whatever fries they bring you, you're not asking for more fries.
No.
You're normally
I always feel
overfull.
uncomfortably stuffed when I leave that place.
Yeah. You can switch it for a Whiskey River barbecue chicken sandwich,
Yeah.
which may also be good. I don't know.
Sometimes you just don't know what you're getting with a bite of chicken. You might get like a weird bite.
That's true. Well, there's my number 3, Amber. Red Robin
Good
Whiskey River
one.
barbecue burger.
Good one.
Thank you.
My number 2,
Okay.
the chain of all chains, Applebee's.
Oh my goodness. Applebee's made your top 5.
Well, there's that. When I go there and I order the chicken fajita roll up,
Mm-hmm.
it is always good. Always good. You do need a little extra side of Mexi Ranch. They don't give you enough because I put Mexi Ranch on every single bite.
Mm-hmm.
But the roll up itself has, I want to say they put the tortilla down and then they put shredded cheese on it and melt it a little bit. The cheese really sticks to the inside of the tortilla. And then you've got your tomato, your fajita seasoned chicken, and your lettuce and stuff in there.
Nice.
Roll it up nice and tight. And then you get this Mexi Ranch, which is probably just salsa and ranch. It definitely has little chunks of tomato or onion or something in there. So good. My mouth is
You've been
practically
eating
watering
that
talking about
for
it.
years.
I
Like
really
when we
have.
were dating, you would
Yeah.
order that at
Yeah,
Applebee's.
seriously.
Yeah.
I'm glad they haven't taken it off the menu.
That's good.
The fries are good. The fries are good in the Mexi Ranch.
Yeah.
So, and I used to always get kiwi lemonade. They have changed the mix for that. It used to be like legitimate, I think, like hand squeezed lemonade, and they'd put some kiwi flavoring in there. And now it is clearly like this weird ectoplasmic green beverage. Not as good anymore, but that used to be a staple.
Oh, that's awesome. Good one, Amber.
Number 2, Applebee's.
My number 2 is similar to, I think, your number 4, Shawarma King.
Okay.
But mine's the Shawarma King on Drake.
Okay.
And
It's
What-
different. It is different.
what I love about this place is I went there, a year ago with my friend Jimmy, who I work with at the church. And we ran down there and ordered just a couple of chicken shawarma sandwiches.
Yeah.
And they were so good. It's
Yeah.
very, very simple. It's just the pita with the shawarma chicken, garlic sauce, and a pickle. Or a
Yeah.
couple pickles. And it's kind of fried a little bit. It's
A
a
little
little bit
crispy on the outside.
crispy.
Yeah.
It's just a phenomenal sandwich. And it's like $4
Yeah, it's
or
cheap.
$4.50.
It's way cheaper than the buffet.
And
Yeah.
so often I'll just leave the church and I'll run down there and grab a chicken shawarma sandwich and bring it back to the church and eat it.
If only they had a drive-through, it would be perfect.
It would be perfect, that's one of those places that just feels fun to be in. Everybody is happy that they're at Shawarma King.
Huh.
I don't know why, and I think it's at both of them, but especially the one on Drake. They're just like, this is a great place to be.
Wow.
And so the whole restaurant just feels like, oh,
That's pretty
it's great.
awesome.
Yeah. So
I wonder how they're able to do that. If that's management is happy, or if they just
I don't know.
Just
All
good-
their food is
good
good. I
food
think
that's
it's just
different, yeah.
good food. It's simple. It's inexpensive.
Yep.
It's not pretentious. It's just good food. So, and have I tried anything else there? Yeah, I have had a couple other things there actually, but usually I'm just going there because it's quick. I want that sandwich and I'm on my way. So my number 2 Shawarma King on Drake.
okay. We're up to the number 1. My number 1 restaurant is Bilbo's.
Oh.
Bilbo's is a pizza restaurant that we have in
Yeah.
our town, and I think it's only our county area, and it is themed after The Hobbit, Tolkien's The Hobbit.
Oh,
And,
Tolkien's The Hobbit. I was thinking of a different one.
so everything has pictures of hobbits on it and funny names.
Ho, Tom Bombadil.
Yeah, Blagfast ham sandwich or something like that.
Yeah.
So they do have a bunch of sandwiches. They have a really great house salad. But my favorite thing to get there is a personal pan pizza, so I don't have to share, and it's got a lot of the real thick crust. They've got a great deep dish there. I like it with ham, green olives, and onion, and lots of Parmesan cheese after it's cooked. It's perfection.
Wow.
The other thing that's really good there, cheesy breadsticks with dill dip.
Yeah.
Their dill dip is to die for.
Yeah, I love their dill dip. I wouldn't go with the cheesy breadsticks. I would go with the straight up
Yeah.
regular.
Can you put half the amount of bread that you normally put in that breadstick, please?
Just a regular breadstick with the dill dip is real good.
Oh, it's so good. And you can dip your pizza crust in the dill dip.
Is there still a Bilbo's here on West Edge, or is that
No,
gone? We have to
gone.
go down to whatever that is.
Stadium?
Stadium.
But it is really, really tasty.
That's very good.
My number one restaurant, Bilbo's.
Not a chain.
I would like to go there after I get my gallbladder taken out.
Okay, good idea. My number one, Amber, is a little place called Thai Chef.
Where is that?
It is on the East Belt Line up in Grand Rapids.
Oh, wow.
It is my
Fancy.
very, very favorite place to go if I'm going to get some lunch or something up in Grand Rapids when I'm at school. And I almost always get the peanut curry with chicken.
Yum.
It is just good. It's a little place. It's in a strip mall, and there's probably 10 tables or something in there, and they're always full.
Huh.
It's just a very, very popular place. Great food, not super expensive.
Do you have to take your food back out to your car to eat then or something? Or does it
No,
clear
I
out
just
enough
there-
that you
there's
can sit down?
yeah. I've never had to do that.
Okay.
There's always been a place for me.
That would be a detractor for me.
Yeah. It's just this cute little place, and it's one of those places where you're like, well, what level of spicy do you
Oh,
want?
right,
and I
right.
always say the lowest.
Yep.
The lowest of spiciness.
Does it still feel
And it's
spicy?
still a little spice, a little kick to it.
Thai stuff. Remember the first time you took me for Thai food and I said medium?
Mhm.
That was a mistake.
Mistake, yeah. It's not your normal
Maybe
medium.
I'd have to work my way up to that.
Yeah, so I love Thai food. I don't know where I discovered that, because I used to be a lot more particular about what I would eat, but I think since I went to Morocco, I've kind of
Oh, I do think that's-
expanded
yeah.
my cuisine horizons
Yeah,
a
and I
little
think
bit.
you just have a more adventurous spirit in general.
That's
you
true.
enjoy being in that in Zerona and in the Shawarma King. You like that
Yeah.
different atmospheres.
Yeah.
'Cause you're becoming a world traveler.
Becoming a world traveler. I can't wait to take you to Israel and take you to Mexico.
I
It's
like
gonna be
Applebee's.
We'll get you out of the States, and it'll be a whole new world.
Oh, don't you dare close your eyes.
Segment 2, Superfights. All right, Amber, we're bringing back a listener favorite segment, Superfight. You might remember it from last episode when we did it.
I do remember.
Let's do the feedback
We
from
got
last.
some great feedback from friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I got it out of order.
Oh, that's all right. So we'll just go.
Oh, no, this is good. So we posted the poll on Facebook and Twitter.
Mhm.
So I'm starting with the Facebook feedback. We'll go over the results, the final results of the poll in a minute.
Okay.
So we had Barb said, this whole thing is beyond me. So our poll, if anybody's listening to this episode and didn't listen to the last one, was who would win in a fight, a T-Rex armed with a catapult and unlimited livestock who is literally wearing his heart on his sleeve, or 10 turtles on hoverboards?
Yeah, and it seems like there's going to be a pretty obvious winner.
You would think.
You would think.
Barb said, this whole thing's beyond me. I will certainly be awaiting the results.
So it's
I
kind of.
don't think she even voted.
That's real nice. Thanks a lot, Mom. But my friend Justin, left some great feedback.
I was
which
excited. I was waiting for a Justin story.
I think he really got to the core of the fight. He said, I think I have to go with the turtles. Thank you, Justin. Not only are they the underdog in this fight, which is always compelling. Again, I completely agree. They seem to be tactically and technologically outmatch the T-Rex in every way. And I I think that there is something about the technology that they have versus his kind of medieval technology.
Oh, I didn't even think about
Very
that.
good.
Yeah.
Clearly, they're intellectually superior, correct. That said, I empathize with the T-Rex.
Aw.
From what I can tell, he's basically a misunderstood kid fighting for acceptance and enfranchisement in an imbalanced, unfair world.
Oh, man.
He's sort of like the kid who was raised with a silver spoon, but without the compassionate, nurturing proximity of his parents to help him develop a sense of self. His tantrums are really a cry for help.
Man, I think he feels so understood, T-Rex.
I think he does. That's very helpful. Justin continues, of course, while I'm confident that the cool-headed strategy of the turtles would overcome the belligerence of the T-Rex's lamb-based, I hope they wouldn't obliterate him. His destruction would be tragic. I think the true victory would be one where the turtles are able to deconstruct the towers of his arrogance, but yet restore him to dignity and honor. That would be a beautiful loss for the T-Rex, but the best sort of win for the turtles and for everyone else.
Wow.
Yeah, so
that's beautiful. That's poignant.
Yeah, very well thought out, and I
really
agree.
rooting for both of them.
Mhm.
The best outcome for everyone involved.
The best outcome is that the turtles win.
Yeah.
And restore him.
Brian says it's obvious the turtles would win with all their ninja training and can-do attitude. I don't even think we brought up that they were ninja.
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
ninja turtles.
I forgot about that. Friend of the show, Laura, said, I find it hard to decide the winner. At first, I was like, of course the T-Rex would win. I think that from the outside looking in, that's
right.
very, very true. I mean, have you seen Jurassic Park? I have, all of them. But I've been watching the Star Wars movies, and those tiny ships were able to defeat the Death Star twice. That is a great point. We have an A-Wing fighter crashing into the bridge of not just a Star Destroyer, a Super Star Destroyer. So you sacrifice one turtle into, say, the eye of the T-Rex, it's going to bring the whole thing down.
Ooh.
I like that. Well done, Laura.
Self-sacrificial turtles. She had a little bit more to her comment, but I cut it off. I think that was a very good point. Lacey said, I'm thinking the turtles would have it if the T-Rex's heart was literally on its sleeve. Pretty sure that would be a dead T-Rex. So I do think that's a really big negative that we pulled on that one.
Yes.
Even a T-Rex needs his heart. The sleeve is not a healthy place for a heart.
Even a T-Rex needs his heart. So I really appreciated the response from my friend, our friend of the show, Drew, which I'm trying to find here, Amber. He implied, he said, Mark, unless the turtles have armor-piercing rounds, it's no contest.
I like that.
And I said, but what if they are so fast they shoot their hoverboards into its mouth and he chokes to death? I assume only one turtle needs to survive for them to be victorious. And this, I felt, was my favorite, maybe one of my favorite responses. He said, sparrows would rule the earth if quickness and a willingness to take 95% casualties was the plan to win the war.
Oh, my word.
I was like, that is a real good point, Drew.
I wonder how he came up with sparrows out of it. He's like, what's a weak
What's
thing
a weak thing that there's a million of?
Yeah.
So, Drew, that is a fantastic argument for the T-Rex. So,
true.
Well done. So, Amber, who won this?
Well, we had, I believe, 25 votes on Facebook and 27 on Twitter.
Whoa.
Both places, the turtles came out on top. On Facebook, they were 64% of the votes, and on Twitter, they were 56%.
Wow.
Of the votes.
So I am shocked that those turtles came out with the win in our very first super fight.
Me too. I don't know if there's just something about our listeners that wants to root for the underdog like you.
Yeah.
They're trying to find a way to see past the obvious, and they just really pushed hard in that direction, but they could be right.
Yeah. Well, Amber, it's time for a new super fight.
I'm excited.
And if you listeners are out there and you're disappointed with the results of that poll, you disagree, you got to get to the polls. You got to get out there and have your voice heard.
Yes.
And there's only one way to get your voice heard. That's clicking one of the two buttons on one of our polls.
Yes.
All right, Amber, I'm going to hit pause, and we are going to prepare our super fight.
All right.
Super fight. Okay, friends. Because of the magic of editing, we now have our super fight entrants, mostly. And what we did was we drew 3 characters and 3 abilities, and we each were able to pick one of each of those. And now we are going to take a random ability that will get added to our character. So who I am starting with, Amber, is Mike Tyson. But here's the thing. He's 3 stories tall.
Oh, no.
That's a 30-foot tall Mike Tyson.
That's really big. I was thinking that might be good because he kind of goes with mine, but now I'm not sure. Mine is a lucha libre wrestler. He's riding a battle cat.
Oh, battle cat is awesome. All right, and my random ability is, good news for Mike. He's armed with dynamite.
Oh, that's hardly a negative at all.
Mike Tyson, 3 stories tall, armed with dynamite.
Wow. Mine is lucha libre wrestler riding a battle cat with a prehensile tail.
Who does? Oh, the wrestler has a prehensile tail, or battle
I think
cat?
it goes back to the wrestler.
Yes, I agree.
I think the lucha libre wrestler has a tail that probably would be good for his wrestler persona. I think a lot of his fans they probably call him something with a tail.
Yep. So I think that he is the underdog in this fight, Amber. So Mike Tyson is obviously a very skilled boxer, a very very able pugilist.
What era of Mike Tyson are we talking here?
I think prime.
I think he's taken a few hits to the head. I don't think he's as agile as he used to be.
Well, as we also know, and I kind of hate to bring this up, he bit a guy's ear off.
Oh, we know.
And so what that says is that he is willing to do what it takes to win. And somehow he's been morphed into a 3-story tall Mike Tyson version. And so I assume he's still got his agility, his dexterousness, his great big boxing gloves, his viciousness, and on top of that, he's got dynamite that he's throwing at your lucha libre riding a battle cat.
So wrestlers, of course, also have agility. They have to, in fact, one would say they maybe even have more than a real wrestler because they have to choreograph everything ahead of time. Imagine how much practice goes into those things where they throw each other down on the mat. Those moves.
Those moves. So you're saying that the lucha libres they're choreographed, kind of like WWE.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Wrestling.
I based this on the Jack Black movie.
Oh, Nacho Libre.
But I also.
So are you picturing it's Nacho Libre on Battle Cat with a prehensile tail?
No, I'm picturing the people that he tried to go against. So a little bit more skilled than Nacho was. But these people, they have lots of fans. They're real cocky because they're very famous. They've got fancy, bright clothes.
Yeah, well, I just feel like that's painting a target for Mike.
I just thought of that too.
Yeah, he's just like, he sees your, battle cat climbing up probably some building in order to get head level with Mike, and then Mike just brings a super knockout punch, knocks him right off the building. So what happens when you get knocked off the building?
What could this tail do for my wrestler? I think that he can probably grab things with it.
Oh, that's exactly what a prehensile tail does.
So I think that even if the battle cat gets knocked down, he can cling to the side of the building. I think his size, his normal size, is actually an advantage because Mike is so big. I'm going with the fact that he's a little dazed.
Okay.
I think he might even have boxing gloves on. It makes him hard to grab. It makes it hard for him to grab things.
Yeah, the dynamite. He's just like kind of pawing at the dynamite to try to.
So yeah, I think he kind of scurries his way up there. I think I could picture him leaping onto the shoulder of Mike himself and maybe taking a little bite out of his ear.
Yeah, I don't think you can, downplay the validity of Battle Cat. I don't know if you were a He-Man watcher, but so He-Man was, Prince Adam.
Right.
Obviously, Prince Adam and Cringer. It's just both a couple of scaredy cats. But when they got the power of the magic sword, the power of Grayskull, I guess, like they were fierce. And Battle Cat was a giant green tiger that you could ride. But I just still think that it's a size issue.
Yeah, I think we could get up there and Battle Cat could bite the jugular or something of
Yeah, because with
Mike
his
Tyson.
So you're saying with his claws, climb up onto
Yeah,
Mike,
or
and,
climb a building next to him,
and then in Mike's.
I can
Oh,
only
I can see
assume
that.
there's a 3-story building next to him so that we know how tall he
Mhm.
is.
I think he's only 2-story. No, look, yeah, no, 3-story. Oh. Yeah, well, it seems a little bit lopsided, but again, we're going to leave it to the listeners. So we'll be putting some polls up pretty soon, friends. So who is it going to be? Mike Tyson, 3 stories tall, armed with dynamite.
Or a lucha libre wrestler riding a battle cat with a prehensile tail.
Yeah, so we will find out. I don't know what we're going to do with all these winners. Maybe we'll do like a battle royale kind of a thing.
Maybe.
The winners fight. Thank you so much for listening, and look for those polls on Facebook and Twitter soon.
Yeah, if it's not too much, to answer the poll and leave us other feedback. We want to know what your favorite restaurant meals are. What's out there that we need to try? Maybe not even a chain.
Yeah.
Something that's near us.
Yeah, let us know if you get the same item every time you go to
yeah,
a
I'm very curious
restaurant.
about that.
So,
All right. Well, we just want to thank you for joining us. If you do want to leave us any feedback, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook at SegmentsCast. You can also email us, segmentscast@gmail.com. You can find our episode page at segments.libsyn.com.
yeah, and so look us up and subscribe on your podcast player of choice. That would help us. You can get it instantly downloaded as soon as it comes out, within 24 to 27 hours now.
Oh.
And that would be great. You have it ready for your travels into work or whatever it is that you're doing, your morning run. And we would love it if you shared the show with others. If you think it's interesting or funny and you think somebody else would enjoy it, give it a share on the social medias. That would be fantastic.
Absolutely. So we want to thank our daughter Emma for our logo and graphics. If you're looking for somebody to draw you something, you can find her on Twitter. She's taking commissions of hauntings.
And we wanted to say thank you to Gabriel, also known as EDM Samurai, for the intro and outro music. You can find him on SoundCloud at EDM Samurai.
That's it. I feel like I'm hungry.
Good eating. Is that a thing?
Nope.
Okay.